Hello everyone, welcome back to our podcast. Today we are diving into something that powers almost everything around us in the digital world. And yes, that is cloud computing characteristics. And with me today is a Tejal, who's going to break this down in a simplest way as possible. So Tejal, are you ready to simplify cloud computing for all of us?
Yes, absolutely. I am really excited about this topic because even though it's sound like it's a technical term, it is not actually, because it's something we use in our day-to-day life on the regular basis. Like, just think about it when we are used to upload the photos, watch the videos, send the emails, attend the online lectures, or even our contact backups, we are using the cloud. All such kind of things we are used to perform, or we are able to perform just because of the cloud computing. So today I will not just explain you the definition, I will try you to connect everything with the real life example so that it becomes easy to understand and also too easy to remember.
So let's start from the basic. What exactly is cloud computing means?
Okay, so let's imagine situation first. Suppose you want to start a small company or even a small project where you need to store a data or run the applications. Earlier, you had to buy an expensive server, set them up in the room, maintain the temperature and handle the electricity, and also to hire the proper team to manage it. So it is not just a costly but also it is a time consuming and complex process. So now cloud computing removes such all kind of headache. Instead of allowing the infrastructure, instead of owning our own infrastructure, you can simply use someone else's infrastructure over the internet. These someones are big companies like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure does. They have a huge data centers where all the servers are stored and managed. So what we do is we connect to their systems using the internets. We use the sources whenever needed. We pay only for what we use. Let's take a small example. When you use a Google Drive, your all drives are stored in the cloud. When you watches the Netflix, videos are streamed from the cloud only. When you uses the Gmails are stored in the cloud. So cloud computing is not something like an abstract. It's something really related to our day-to-day life, and it's the most practical thing for every one of us.
So, whether these characteristics are similar to the feature?
Yes, exactly. You can think of them like special features or the qualities that makes the cloud computing different and better than the traditional systems. Before, more than just features, they actually define how the cloud exactly behaves. For example, why can I access my data from anywhere? Why should not a web get crashes even millions of users are visiting it? Why don't I need to spend huge amount of money initially? All these answers come from the cloud computing characteristics. So these characteristics makes the cloud flexible, means you can change the things anytime, help us to make the things scalable. You can increase or decrease the usage. It is cost efficient as the user can pay only for how much amount the system is used by them. It is reliable as system keeps working even if something fails. So basically characteristics are the core reason behind the cloud's success.
So, what makes cloud work internally?
Oh, that's a great question. First is the virtualization. Imagine one physical computer is behaving like a many computers. That's what a virtualization does. It divides one system into a multiple virtual systems, which increases its efficiency a lot. Secondly, it's an automation. Everything happens automatically, like creating the servers, locating the memories and scaling the system. This reduces a manual work a lot and saves the user times. Thirdly is the multi-tenancy. Many users share the same infrastructure, but their data is completely separate, like different people living in the same building but in the different room. Fourth is an internet-based delivery. Everything is accessed through the internet which makes the cloud globally available. Fifth is a dynamic resource allocation. Resources are not just fixed, they can change according to the demand of the user. So these principles together makes the cloud smarter, faster, efficient and flexible as well.
So, what is on-demand self-service?
This is one of the most powerful feature we can say of the cloud computing. It means user or you don't need to depend on anyone to access the resources. As earlier you were sending the request, you need to wait until you get the approval and then you can use the things. But now the situation is completely opposite. You can log in just within a one click, you can start using it instantly. For example, if suddenly you need an extra storage or a server for your project, so you can create it within a minute or even at a midnight. This improves the speed, independency and the productivity. But yes, one thing should be carefully considered, that it increases the cost as per the user's usage. So cost controlling is very much important for the user.
So, how does cloud make everything accessible? Means how we can access the things with the help of the cloud?
Oh, through broad network access. This means services are available over the internet and can be accessed from the mobile, laptop and tablet. So accessing is very much instant or time less consuming process. User can access it easily from anywhere. For example, if anyone is uploading some kind of files by sitting in the Pune, then his or her friend or whoever at the opposite side can access it from the Mumbai instantly or any from other city as well. It was just a part of the example. This enables the user to work from home, online learning and remote teamwork. But yes, everything depends on the internet speed. So internet matters a lot.
So, can you explain about the elasticity which refers to the cloud computing?
Okay, sure. Just have a glance on one example. Think of it like a rubber band. When demand increases, the system gets expand. When demand decreases, the system gets shrinks. For example, during a big sales, websites have a huge amount of traffic. So cloud automatically increases the server. But after the sale, servers reduces. This ensures no crash, smooth performance and efficient access.
So, can you explain a bit about what is exactly resource pooling?
Sure, why not? All the resources are combined into a one big pool and shared among the users. Instead of one server per user, we have one pool among the many users. This leads to the cost saving, better utilization and high efficiency as well.
So, how does the pricing work in the cloud computing?
As I told you earlier, you can only pay for that much amount that have been used by you. For example, suppose the user have been used 5 GB of storage. So he or she is supposed to pay 5 GB storage amount to the system. Or it depends on the hour wise also. Suppose the user used for 2 hours server, he or she is used to pay for 2 hours only. This is like electricity billing. Benefits of such kind of payment is no upfront cost, it is budget control and transparency is maintained between the users.
So, okay Tejal, earlier you mentioned multi-tenancy while explaining the principles, but I still feel it's a bit confusing. Can you explain it in a very simple and practical way?
Yeah, that's actually a very common confusion I have observed in the many people. So let me break down it in a simple words for you. Multi-tenancy means that multiple users shares the same cloud infrastructure, but their data and operation remains completely separate and secure. Now to understand this, imagine a real life example. Think of it like a large apartment building. Many families live in the same building. They share the common facilities of water supply, electricity connections, and the security, but each family has its own private flat. Similarly, in the cloud, one infrastructures like the server, storage, used by the many users, but each user's data is completely separate and private. A very common example is Gmail. Millions of people use the Gmail at the same time, but you cannot see others' mail, others cannot access your data as well. So, even though infrastructure is shared, privacy is maintained properly. Now, let's talk about why it is important. First, of course, it reduces the cost. Since infrastructure is shared, company doesn't need a separate system for each user. Secondly, it improves the scalability. More users can be added easily without major challenges. Third, it improves the efficiency. Resources are used properly instead of being wasted. But yes, there is a one challenge. Strong security is required to ensure that proper data is isolated. So in short, shared infrastructure separates the data, they are cost efficient and scalable.
So Tejal, in earlier talk you have mentioned virtualization few times. It sounds like something very technical. And why is it too important in the cloud computing?
Okay, so yes, virtualization is actually one of the most important concept, and you can say it is as a backbone of cloud computing. Let me explain it in a very simple way. Normally, one physical computer runs on one operating system, but in the virtualization, it allows one physical computer to run in the multiple virtual machine. That means one system behaves like a mini system. Each virtual machine can run in its own operating system, have its own applications, works independently. Now just imagine how powerful this is. Instead of buying 10 different servers, we can use one powerful server and divide it into a 10 virtual machine. Now this leads to the better resource utilization, reduces the hardware cost, improve the flexibility, and yeah, that was all about its advantage. I would also like to take an example like suppose a company needs one system for testing, one for development, one for deployment. So instead of buying the 3 different machines, they can create 3 virtual machines on one single server. This shows the another advantage is it is also easy to manage. You can create, delete, modify virtual machine within a few minutes. So overall, virtualization helps the cloud system to become flexible, efficient and scalable. Without virtualization, cloud computing would not exist in the way it does today.
Okay. But what happens if something goes wrong? Like if a server crashes, does everything stop?
That's a very practical and important question, I must say. This is where resilient computing comes into the picture. Resilient computing means that the system is designed in such a way that even if something fails, the service continues without interruption. Let me explain with an example. Suppose you have been using an online banking app and suddenly one server crashes. In traditional system, the service might get stopped or user is supposed to face such kind of different errors. But in the case of cloud computing, another server automatically takes over and the user does not even notice such kind of failure. This is possible because of cloud system have backup systems, redundant server and failure mechanism. This ensure high availability, no downtime and also the continuous service. Another example is streaming services. Even if one server fails, you can continuously watch the videos without interruption. So the resilient computing is very important because it builds the trust and reliability. In a simple words, even if something breaks, the system goes on running without giving a certain kind of trouble to the user side.
Now that we have discussed so many features in a detail, I want to understand one thing clearly. What are these characteristics such a big deal?
Oh, that's actually the most important question because this connects the theory with the real world impact. All these characteristics together completely change how technology is used today. Let's understand it step by step. First, they reduce the cost. Earlier, companies has to invest heavily in the hardware and the maintenance, but now, because of resource pooling and measured services, they only pay for what they use. Secondly, they increase the flexibility. With on-demand service and elasticity, companies can scale their system anytime. Thirdly, they help us to save the time. Instead of waiting for a days to set up the infrastructure, everything can be done within a minute, as I given some example earlier. Fourth, they enable the remote working. Because of broad network access, people can work from anywhere and anytime in the world. Fifth, but not the least, they improve the performance and reliability. With resilient system, downtime is minimized mostly. So overall, these characteristics makes the system faster, reduce the efforts, improves the efficiency, and supports the innovation as well. That's why cloud computing is widely used in the every industries today.
Okay, now let's make it even more relatable. If I look at my daily routine, where exactly am I using cloud computing?
Yes, of course. Honestly, I would say that almost everywhere you use the cloud computing. Let's go step by step through your normal days. At the morning, first we check some of our emails and also we open the Google Drives, but without knowing that at the back end there is a cloud only which is supporting this system. During our studies, for example, online classes, while completing the assignments, we use the cloud. For entertainment purpose as well, while watching the YouTube or the Netflix, cloud is working at the back end. Social media, while uploading the photos, while watching the videos, cloud is only supporting for it. During the banking scheme, checking the balance, while shopping during using Amazon, Flipkart, cloud is involved in that. In the healthcare also, to maintain the digital record, cloud is very much supportive and helpful for the doctors and the staff. So from morning to night, cloud is involved almost everything and everywhere we do. That's why we say cloud computing is not just technology, it's a part of our daily life.
That's actually amazing. So, if cloud is already everywhere, why does the future look like?
So the future of cloud computing, I would like to say that it is extremely powerful and exciting. First, cloud would integrate deeply with the artificial intelligence which is going in the boom in the market. AI models need huge computing power which the cloud can only provide them. Secondly, cloud will support the Internet of Things, that is IoT devices like smartphones, wearable and connected cars generate the data that is stored and processed by the cloud only. Thirdly, if we think about the smart cities will also depend on the cloud system for managing the traffic, energy and public services. Fourthly, cloud can be helpful and transform into healthcare as well. Doctor will assess the patient's data instantly and AI-based diagnosis will improve the patient treatment. Fifthly, cloud security will improve the advanced technologies. Also, the technologies like edge computing will work with the cloud to reduce the delay and improve the speed. So overall, cloud will become the backbone of future technology.
Everything sounds so perfect, but I'm sure there must be some challenges too, right?
Yeah, of course. Like every technology, cloud computing also has some own challenges. First is data security and privacy. Since the data is stored online, there is always a risk that some unauthorized entity or user may get access of that. Secondly is then internet dependency. Without internet, cloud services cannot function properly. Thirdly is a cost management. If usage is not monitored, bill can increase unexpectedly and user may need to pay high bills at that time. Fourthly is a limited control. User don't have a full control over the infrastructure. Fifth one is a downtime issue. Although it's a rarely occurring issue, but it should be taken under consideration because cloud services can also fail sometime. So it's very much important to understand how to use cloud carefully and responsibly.
That was really interesting and easy to understand. Thanks, Tejal.
Okay, thank you. I am glad that I would make it simple from my side as much I can.
Alright, everyone, that's all for today's episode. Thank you.
Thank you.